And the grim discovery of Michael Krein's body has sparked a bitter blame game of finger-pointing and dueling accusations.
Everybody's still a person of interest.
His death exposing an explosive love triangle between Michael and his new girlfriend, who just happens to be his ex-wife's BFF.
How did you feel?
Devastated. Betrayed. We were really good friends.
Adding to the chaos, Michael's new girlfriend and her family are taking aim at her ex-husband.
I'm surprised his motive was never questioned because
He could have done it.
And now he's firing back at them.
Her parents know something about this.
He said that you probably killed Michael Krein,
Oh,
that
yeah?
you
For
wanted
what?
him. He said that you had said you didn't want him around and that you probably took him out.
Oh, wow.
Cops don't know who to believe, and Crime Watch Daily is tracking down all of the players in this deadly game of finger-pointing to get their side of the story.
People are making allegations saying that you might have killed Michael.
These home videos and some family snapshots are about all Michael Krein's 3 children have left to keep their cherished memories of their devoted dad alive.
He had a good heart. He was very helpful, and he would do just about anything for his kids.
Despite the divorce, Michael's ex-wife Debbie still speaks highly of him as both a father and a husband.
We spent 15 wonderful years together and split up 3 years ago, but still remained best friends.
You still love him.
Every day.
Debbie fondly recalls the many happy years they spent as a family in the San Diego bedroom community of Escondido, where 47-year-old Michael was a sheet metal worker.
We always were out camping. We loved to go out and do family stuff. We took trips to San Francisco and Hertz Castle, and every summer we'd do something fun.
And even after their divorce, Debbie says Michael rarely went a day without seeing or at least talking to his kids.
The day he went missing I was actually wondering when he was going to show up.
Michael never did, and those close to him began to fear for his safety after being unable to reach him for several days.
And when none of us got a response, we kind of knew something was wrong.
We were really concerned and called the police department.
Where officers initially treated it as a missing persons case.
We had a family that was very concerned, and this was not very out of character for him and at the time.
Michael's family last saw him around 9:30 Saturday morning. Michael's girlfriend, Jennifer DePace, picked him up in her car at the home of his mother, Jenny.
Said they were going to go to Knoxbury Farm. And that was the last time I saw him.
Michael's banking records would later reveal that he and Jennifer instead went to breakfast at a local bar called the Sunset Lounge. Investigators would learn they stayed there for several hours before leaving together in the early afternoon before going to Jennifer's home. And in the evening, there was trouble. Investigators discover
There had been some kind of altercation or some kind of maybe an argument going on between the two.
investigators would find evidence that it had become very heated.
There was a door that was broken during the fight at the residence.
And Jennifer would tell CHP investigators that Michael decided to leave.
He called a cab to respond up to the property to retrieve him and then take him back to his house. Our investigation also revealed that the cab did arrive, but Michael was not there. The cab driver spoke with the girlfriend, who said she didn't know where he was and that he had walked off. The cab driver then actually drove around looking for Michael and couldn't locate him.
The search grew, and a group called California Advocates for the Missing also got involved.
We had flyers made, arranged for 40 volunteers to go out and search for him, and made his missing page.
As the days passed with no sign of Michael, hopes of finding him alive were fading.
What were you thinking?
Hope. I had hope that maybe he was injured, but he was okay somewhere.
And something his mother Jenny used to say jokingly to Michael was about to turn tragically prophetic.
I was always teasing him when he wouldn't come home. You know, someday you're going to be the one laying on the side of the road.
Eerily, that's exactly how a group of searchers would find Michael Krein's body 10 days after he went missing. And get this, it was less than 2 miles from his girlfriend's house on a side road he would never have taken to get to his place almost 20 miles away in Escondido. Where he was found again raises the question, was Michael Krein the victim of a hit and run? Or was he killed and then dumped in a ditch?
His body was found over here?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it was found here approximately about maybe 15 feet, kind of over the side here.
How does a mother know?
But now Jenny is tormented by what she doesn't know.
I just hope that he wasn't laying there for 2 weeks. If he died quickly, that's one thing. But if he laid there waiting for us to try to find him for days, that's hard.
Debbie hasn't had it easy either.
What was that news like? It changed your life forever.
Devastating. Yeah. I kind of knew. When I hadn't heard from him for 2 weeks, I knew.
Because Michael's body was found on a state road and his death possibly involved a car, the California Highway Patrol took over the case, initially thought to be a likely hit and run. Until CHP investigators examined the body and the crime scene.
You could see he had some trauma to his body, but we didn't see any typical signs you would see in type of investigation like that with vehicle parts or tire friction marks or skid marks.
The medical examiner couldn't say for sure that Michael was killed by a car either, declaring the cause of death undetermined and concluding, quote, given the location where he was found and the injuries incurred, it is possible he was struck by a motor vehicle. However, the possibility that he met with foul play cannot be ruled out.
He definitely didn't look to me like he was hit by a car.
And she noticed something else.
He didn't have his sunglasses, which seemed really weird to me. Mike was known for wearing sunglasses. He had super sensitive eyes. He didn't have a ring on that he has had on for 17 years. He didn't have cigarettes, which he would always have cigarettes and a lighter.
Mom, Jenny, made another similar observation.
There's two things Michael never went anywhere without, and that was his backpack and his phone. And those two things were never found with him.
If someone did hit him right there where we found him, his personal stuff would be with him.
That information from Jenny and Debbie would lead CHP investigators to develop an alternate and more troubling theory about Michael's death.
That he was killed somewhere else and was dumped on the side of the road.
Is Jennifer a person of interest in this death?
Yes, she is, in addition to anybody else that could have been involved in this. She's not 100% ruled out.
Neither Jennifer nor anyone else has ever been charged in Michael's death, but the news that Michael was with Jennifer the entire day he went missing would come as a terrible shock to his already grieving ex-wife, Debbie. She says Jennifer was one of her best friends, but never told her she'd been dating Michael.
You didn't find this out until
a week after Mike went missing.
How did you feel?
Devastated. Betrayed.
Do you feel she stabbed you in your back?
Definitely.
In fact, Debbie says Jennifer denied it when she confronted her over the phone.
To this day, she would never admit to dating him, not to me. She told the detectives, but she would have never mentioned it to me.
And Debbie says now she wonders if Jennifer might have had something to do with Michael's death, even though police have never charged her.
And until you tell me otherwise, I'm gonna think that.
But Debbie would find an unlikely ally in her own ex-husband, who agreed to talk to Crime Watch Daily with a promise we wouldn't show his face.
I'm praying that she had very, very little to do with that situation.
At first, he defended his ex-wife Jennifer until she pointed the finger at him as a possible suspect, telling police she thinks he might have killed Michael because he was jealous.
She did mention that.
Next, police question her ex, and he comes to Crime Watch Daily to answer the critical question head on.
Right. Jennifer says you might have killed Michael.
Right.
But Jennifer has never been charged and denies having anything to do with Michael's death. And she tells police they should instead take a closer look at her ex-husband.